Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And give this video a like up. How would Star Trek's Kirk, Picard, and Sisko deal with Janeway's Tuvix? Star Trek Lower Decks surprise sequel to Star Trek. Voyager's infamous Tuvix episode raises the question of how Captains Kirk, Picard, and Sisko would deal with Janeway's dilemma. In Tuvix, the crew of the U.S. Cerritos are tasked with escorting the U.S. Voyager to a new exhibition on Earth. The mission veers wildly out of control when multiple members of the Cerritos crew, including Captain Carol Freeman, Don Lewis, are Tuvixed. This refers to the freak transporter accident that combined Voyager's Lieutenant Tuvok, Tim Russ, Neelix, Ethan Phillips, and an orchid into one unique life form called Tuvix Tom Wright. Lower Decks has revisited Janeway's Tuvix dilemma, but would Star Trek's Kirk, Picard, or Sisko act differently from the iconic Voyager captain? Captain Janeway, Kate Mulgrew, was then forced to choose between the lives of her friends and that of Tuvix, eventually choosing Tuvok and Neelix. As Ensign Beckett Mariner, Tawny Newsome, points out, Janeway's controversial Tuvix solution was tantamount to straight-up murder. The ethics of Janeway's decision are still being discussed decades later and the Season 4 premiere of Star Trek. Lower Decks revisits that debate by showing how Captain Freeman attempts to avoid repeating the mistakes of Voyager, resulting in the Tuvix situation veering wildly out of control. Now that fans know how Janeway and Freeman would deal with a Tuvix situation, it's worth pondering how some of Star Trek's other captains would approach the ethical dilemma. Captain James T. Kirk, straight-up murder like Janeway. Janeway ended the life of Tuvix to bring back her two friends, and if there's any Star Trek captain who would place the lives of their friends above all else, it's Captain James T. Kirk, William Shatner. Kirk sabotaged his Starfleet career to save the life of Captain Spock, Leonard Nimoy, from the Genesis planet. He definitely sanctioned the death of a Tuvixed Spock and Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy, DeForest Kelley. Star Trek. The original series core trio were a great team and complemented each other brilliantly. Kirk needed Spock and Bones to be the legendary captain of the U.S. Enterprise, so he'd ultimately opt to follow the Janeway option by killing Bones. If that seems unlikely, it's worth remembering the Star Trek TOS episode The Enemy Within, in which Kirk also experienced a transporter accident. Kirk was split into his two aspects, one primal and impulsive, the other meek and indecisive. The evil Kirk was more of a threat to the crew than Tuvix ever was, as he was both sexually and physically aggressive. The Enterprise crew thought nothing of recombining Kirk's aspects to restore normality, even though each Kirk was technically an individual life form. Unlike Janeway, nobody gave Kirk a hard time for this, because his impulsive version was an abusive sex maniac who lacked any redeeming features. Captain Jean-Luc Picard placed Tuvix on trial. Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, loves a good moral and ethical debate, as seen in Star Trek, The Next Generation's The Measure of a Man. In that episode, Picard argued for the rights of Lieutenant Commander Data, Brent Spiner, to be seen as an individual. In his summing up, Picard stated that Starfleet was founded to seek out new life. Well, there it sits, before pointing to Data. A portion of the internet clearly believes that Picard would take the same stance on Janeway's dilemma, as a Star Trek gif of this classic moment, with a Tuvix twist, occasionally does the rounds on social media. It's likely that Picard would mount a trial whereby the Tuvixed member of the Star Trek The Next Generation crew could plead their case for individuality. Picard would likely defend the right of the being to exist against his Starfleet superiors. That being said, Picard may find this more challenging if the two crew members that were Tuvixed were close trusted colleagues like Lieutenant Commander Geordi LaForge, LeVar Burton, and Lieutenant Worf, Michael Dorn. Regardless of his personal connections to the new Jorf, Picard would still feel it was his duty to debate all sides of the ethical dilemma before ultimately deciding if the Tuvix crew members should be separated. Thanks for watching.